just bend low. Mwanzilishi Dr. Geoffrey Griffins na mwanzilishi Geoffrey Gatama Jaturo na mwanzilishi Joseph Kamiru Gikubu, the three G's. Hatuna la kusema, zetu ni shukurani kwa kuanzisha shule yenye imetufaidi. Kama mngekuwa nyinyi mngejionea jinsi
Today I'm the village crier. And what the village crier used to do, they used to make announcements about babies, about great people in the village, about heroes who've come home. So today I'm the crier for the president of OSS. So every time he's about to come on, more or less, it's going to be me to come and announce him. So again, I'd like to welcome the OSS president, Mr. Raymond Rono, formally, all protocols observed, to come and give his highlights of what, in his view, has been happening in OSS during his reign and what he projects for the future.
For me, this is the last OSS Gala I'll be hosting because I retire in March. But looking back, I am grateful to God for the opportunity to serve as a chairman of OSS and now president. And the achievements that I've seen would not have been possible without a great alumni team that I see in us, the old boys of Starehe Boys Center and the young women of Starehe Girls Center. This has been an amazing group of people. When we have called on to them, they have stood with us. Today, as I stand, I think the greatest highlight for me is the fact that in that period, we have raised over 100 million shillings to the Starehe institutions as an alumni. You know, be it the emergency fundraiser in 2018 that was led by Fred O'Connor himself, or the emergency fundraiser we did this year that was led by Harry, or, you know, the contributions by the different class groups, as O'Connor mentioned, you know, what C90 has done, the GMET endowment that class of 98 has done, you know, what C87, 89 have done, you know, the class of 89 that in fact in the next, month or so will be climbing Mount Kenya to raise funds for Starehe. I think seeing classes and groups, you know, coming together, houses, you know, mobilizing each other to renovate houses in Jonjo, Kakli, Shell House, you know, Chaka House, and so on. For me, I think these are the great highlights that I would only say. And I say, thank you guys for doing this and ensuring that, you know, we can talk of great achievements today. And I look forward to greater success. I want to believe that the next 5 years or so, we'll see greater numbers in terms of fundraising, and in terms of membership to OSS, in terms of support to SGC. And for me, the biggest call that I'm going to make today is for the alumni of SBC to begin to shift some of their attention to not only supporting the boys' school, but in fact supporting the girls' school as well. In concluding my remarks, I would like to make special recognition of Sister Jane Soita, a fantastic lady who has led Starehe Girls Center, and all the results and all the excellent work we are seeing at the girls' school is because of our sister. She's been a great supporter of OSS. She is a member of the MC of the boys' school, and there's so much to say about sister. To that effect, we have decided as EXCO to award Sister Soita the honorary membership of OSS.
As you know very well, that SGC was founded in 2005. As we stand here today, there are 1,315 young ladies who have graduated from Starehe Girls Center. 95% of them have actually transited into university, and that is our big joy. As you know, Starehe Girls is governed by the Board of Trustees and the Board of Management, and all of them actively source for funds to keep the girls in school. Around 33% are the only girls that pay school fees. All others, we have to meet all their needs, and it's not easy. But we are proud, we are happy, because the OSS and GMAT have stood with us, and other old boys and some girls have stood with us because they have come in when we need the financial support. I stand here today to congratulate the OSS for the 50 years. In the 50 years, we are 16 years old. So we are somewhere there as your younger sister, and we continue to hope that you are going to hold our hands as we continue to learn how to be as Starehians, how to be, so that we keep that brand of Starehe. Thank you very much as we continue to work together and align other areas of our Starehe institution, so that when we talk about Starehe, Starehe Girls is not doing this and Starehe Boys is not doing the others. So continue to support us as we continue to work with these young boys and young girls.
We have had a bit of some challenges because one side of the Starehe Girls has a fence which is a bit porous, and it has been facing a lot of challenges. So we are in the process of fundraising for 14.3 million shillings to put up the perimeter wall. This wall is going to be put in phases. Phase 1, the idea is to be able to raise 8 million shillings, and the BOT, the Board of Management, all Starehians, and the rest of the team, they're already running the funds drive to be able to raise this amount of money. But in the process, also, sister is also not sleeping. She has gone around. I'm told that she has reached out to a few donors, and she has been able to secure some iron sheets so that as we move towards raising this amount of money in terms of putting up a perimeter wall, she has already gotten around 300 pieces of iron sheets that she'll be able to fend the space as we raise this amount of money. The second challenge is about the dormitory. Like sister said, that the girls have moved from 72 in 2005 to around 720, and Form 1, Form 2 have 2 streams. So in the next 2 years, we'll be talking about having 800 girls. So we have an extra of around 160 girls that we are trying to squeeze in the dormitories. So we are talking about the possibility of raising 58.3 million shillings that we'll be able to put up a new dormitory. And on top of that dormitory is to furnish the boarding facility around 3.4 million.
The greatest challenge we have ahead of us is to keep this upward trend in the old Starehian society. At the center, we depend now largely on the old Starehian society for support in terms of finances, for support in terms of skills, for support in terms of mentoring the men of Starehian, and indeed the ladies of Starehian Girls Center as well. And there's one point I would like to make to all of us. We have understood COVID largely as a health and economic challenge. But those of us who are running schools have witnessed traumatic experiences that these young people have gone through, and we need to provide time, patient time, to listen to them, to counsel them, to guide them through this very challenging time. And I want to invite you first to listen to your own at home. Make sure we don't bring the judgment, the harsh reactions that I hear from parents. There are some parents I speak to, and they just tell me, this boy is just lazy. But when we get to sit down with a young person in the center and hear the challenges that they have gone through, we offer counsel, and we invite the parents, and we actually bridging that gap. And I want to invite as many of us to come forward, because the years ahead are going to be challenging for these people to recover from the 9 months of exposure to all manner of evil in society, which you have introduced as elders, and they have now had to encounter and recover from. So that's our challenge this time. Our conviction is that we are up to the task. We thank you that we don't have to do emergency fundraising. We now have about 40 million in the account. Hopefully by the end of the year, we'll still have a surplus significant enough to keep us going for the first term of the year, all on account of the support and, of course, the tightening of the bolts in the center. And we're also transitioning in 2 ways. Next year, we will be going back to the calendar. So we have 2 classes sitting KCSE. The Form 4 class sits from March, and the Form 3 class sits in November. So that creates quite some stress within the system. Thirdly, we also have the transition to CBC, which will be, we are preparing for. In fact, in the coming year, we'll be adding a new classroom, courtesy of the Ministry of Education, and all of these transitions are being managed in the center.
Griffin Memorial Endowment Trust was set up in 2007, and the primary role really was to manage the funds which were in Starehian Endowment Fund. For those of us who remember during Griffin's time, we used to say that if the sponsors were to stop sponsoring schools for the next couple of years, 20 years, we have reserves to last long. So essentially, Griffin Memorial Endowment Fund was set up for purposes of managing those trusts. That was 2007. In 2009, the first fund or seed was actually provided. That was about 82 million. And so that's what set off Griffin Memorial between, that is 2009, out of the so much money which was left. But outside what we have been able to do, of course, between 2009 and 2016, there was sandal, there was a lull. There was absolutely nothing which was happening in GMET, especially with the demise of one of the trustees, Mr. Murugo. So essentially, the trust was not able to function until 2016, when we kind of revived it. When we revived it in 2016, it earned in itself about 1.7 million, and out of that 1.7 million, on about, it was about 82 plus 55 million, which was from the secondary fund. And today, I'm happy to report that our fund stands as 250 million. And between 2017 to now, we have disbursed 78 million. So out of that 78 million, we have given 68 million to the boys' school, 10 million to the girls' school, and 700,000 to the alumni through OSS. Maybe someone will ask, where are we giving so much money to the boys' school and very little or not comparable to the girls' school. Unfortunately, it is the way the trust deed was actually formulated. We are not allowed to give anything above 20% of the funds. And ideally, the funds we are supposed to give is the interest or the investment income. That's what we are supposed to give to the schools. Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you everyone for the support you have given us.
I want to say I'm very happy for both the old boys and the old girls. It's this kind of spirit that we need in our country. And I just want to encourage you to live in that brotherhood, sisterhood. So officially as your patron, I want to encourage you to do what is right for our two institutions and to do what is right for our country. If there is anything we can do individually, collectively, to help Starehe boys and Starehe girls and the OSS, please go out of your way. Go out of your way. That's where we belong. And that becomes our first love in life.
I'm a member of this society whose mission is to make a clear contribution to transforming the society we live in. I'm impressed by that both this society and my organization share a common belief on creating opportunities for our communities. 2 weeks ago, which I've talked about, I was at the Starehe Boys Center for the Founders' Day celebration. Courtesy of the Safaricom Foundation, we made a commitment to supply and equip the school with ICT equipment worth just below 6 million. This will enable learners to prepare for and take advantage of today's digital world. That was my third visit to the school in a span of about a year, and I reiterated my commitment to continue supporting the institution. And there's another visit that's being arranged to see the girls' school. Now, this year's gala is both timely and important. Our association is celebrating its golden jubilee since being registered in 1970 by the late Geoffrey Griffin. Over the 50 years, through Starehe alumni, OSS has sponsored and mentored hundreds of students, initiated and completed numerous projects, supported many alumni through difficult moments, and co-funded the GMET, if I may use the acronym, to secure the Starehe institutions in perpetuity, among other achievements. Today we are also here to help OSS raise funds in support of operations and projects it plans to undertake. And I'm glad to hear that specifically for this year, we are focusing on Starehe girls. This financial support will ensure that our society's heritage and achievement continue in the years to come. Therefore, Safaricom is proudly partnering with OSS to achieve some of these dreams, and you'll have heard that we will be contributing 1 million Kenya shillings as Safaricom. I encourage all of us to give generously to this cause. This was the intention and passion of Dr. G.W. Griffin as he began this society to provide an avenue to effectively make an impact to a young student. Like the student, you too were supported and mentored in the same way.
The knowledge of his love, now and forever.
Amen.
Tumpigie makofi. Akate vizuri.
पुदीना देगा नाक का नागिना देगा चिकनी चमेली देगी चिकना कमीना देगा चांदनी चिदर होके चीट किया तो